There we go. Hello, it's Mari-Lyn Harris of Kindness Matters. It's a new format for me. And I have Lion. He's graciously accepted my invite to be on the show. So we're going to talk about what he does for his business. And I think really aligns with what kindness is and how kindness matters. And he's going to talk more about that. And we're just going to have a nice conversation. So, Lion, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mary Lynn. It's a pleasure to be here with you to talk about kindness and we're called mankind, but we're often unkind. So
Right,
yeah,
right, right. Yeah. So maybe you want to tell the audience a little bit more about yourself.
sure. First of all, I've been involved in self-development and self-improvement for as long as I can remember. And the reason is that I thought there was something wrong with me.
Hmm.
So I wanted to fix it. And that was a good launch for my current work, which is to help people find and awaken themselves to their
Hmm.
own true potential
Hmm.
through inner development and inner healing. So
Yeah.
it's really a healing path and an awakening path. And I teach a process called the Clear Beliefs Method of Trauma Informed Therapeutic Coaching, primarily
Okay.
to coaches, but also healers, therapists,
Hmm.
consultants, anyone who works with people and wants to help them open up and grow.
Hmm.
That's the nature of my work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. We have to do the work ourselves. Try to help somebody else.
It's right. You start with yourself and then you keep working on yourself while you're helping other
Yeah.
people.
Right.
Other people will trigger you into finding out what you haven't worked on yet.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Of course. So how do you decide that? You were saying something about you thought there's something wrong with yourself. Why would you think that something's wrong with yourself?
Well, it turns out that most children who are either neglected or abused or don't have everything they need from their
Hmm.
parents come to that kind of conclusion.
Okay.
Because as children, we can't blame our parents. Children don't think, "Wow, mom and dad are really screwed up. They should have gotten some therapy before they got married, and they should have gotten some
Yeah.
couples counseling while they were married and before they had me." So a child tends to, because we're egotistical, we think we created everything. If we're creating abuse or neglect, we think there must be something wrong with us. And then often the parents will reinforce that idea by saying, "What's wrong with you?"
Right, right, right,
or
right.
there's something wrong with you, or you're being selfish, or so we're admonished by our parents, and they really reinforce the belief that we're the creator of the problem.
Right,
So even
right.
if our parents are fighting with each other, we think it's about me. If they're beating us, we think it must be something I did wrong. So it's
Hmm.
just a natural tendency for children to think that.
Hmm. Hmm. So you got into the work because you were neglected. You didn't have good parents,
Well,
or
I was sort of a child of normally dysfunctional parents.
okay.
I wasn't ever beaten. I got spanked as a kid, but
Yeah.
there was nothing terrible that happened.
Right.
It's just that my mother wasn't ever loved herself from her.
Hmm.
She didn't really know how to love. And so she was a good mechanical mom. It was
Hmm.
like having a robot for a mom. You don't
Yeah.
get the warmth that you're looking for, the
Yeah.
personal connection you're looking for. My dad a businessman, and he had a retail business. So he was the man in the family,
Yeah.
50s kind of family.
Yeah.
And basically I was left alone. I had an older sister and two younger brothers, so I was the middle kid and just assumed that I would get along fine, but I didn't. So
Right.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
typical, pretty typical, but
Yeah.
nothing terrible happened, but it gave me a chance to really think about other people. How come
Hmm.
they're normal? How come they seem okay with themselves, but I'm not okay with myself? So that was really
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
beginning.
Because you weren't giving the nourishment or the encouragement to, be better, right?
Right. Nobody ever asked me, who are you? Who do you want to be? I
Yeah.
had to figure all that out myself.
Yeah. 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 It's always interesting when you have dysfunctional parents. I had dysfunctional parents too. My mom was, working part-time. My dad was the man, making the income. But like you were saying, it's like even though they were around, sometimes you just picked up the wrong message, right? And it's nothing to do with you, but it's them. So it takes you a while to figure that one out.
Yeah,
But it
exactly.
doesn't hurt to explore anyway, to figure out where you're at and what's going on and what's happening, and see how you can improve upon yourself. But usually at a child's time of life, you don't do that kind of stuff till you're about 30, and then you realize, oh my God, something wrong with me.
That's right. And even the ancient Greeks had the sign above the temple that said "Know thyself." It's like
Yeah.
that was the main recommendation. And so, looking inside and finding out what you're made of and why you decide what you do and what your behavior is, it's always a productive conversation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you come across things you'd rather not come across, but getting to know yourself is the
Hmm.
awakening process. It is understanding yourself and therefore other people as well.
Right, right, of course. So, what do you think is the most important aspect that we should know more about ourselves?
Let's see. I think the most important thing to know about ourselves is that we are growing beings, that
Hmm.
we're on a path of growth and development, and that
Hmm.
it takes a lifetime
Yeah.
of inner exploration to really get to know yourself. But the more you do know yourself, the
Hmm.
more you understand and have compassion for other people. This is where kindness comes in. It's
Right.
like when you get to know that you are part of a much larger system that
Hmm.
includes other people that are different than you,
Hmm.
uh, compassion is the quality that comes in most strongly when you
Hmm.
recognize that we're all connected, that we're all part of the same system of biology and physics and chemistry and
Hmm.
astronomy. It's like we're part of a big universe.
Right.
And that when you expand your awareness to that extent, then you realize we're all facing the same struggles and the same wounds and the same issues. And so kindness is the way
Mm. Yeah.
to treat each other because we're all part of the same being, as far as I could tell.
Right, right. Yeah. I always found how I got into kindness has always been about, okay, how come bullies, there's so many bullies, what's wrong with them? And or people, that aren't kind at workplaces. So I kind of got into the kindness business by just saying, okay, if I had enough crappy bosses, what is it about me I need to change, or what can I change in that sphere of things? So that's kind of kindness is to me is very powerful, and it doesn't take much to be kind. Some days, tests us, but that's just all part of growing. Like we're saying, we're lifelong growers.
Yeah. And the Dalai Lama said, kindness is my religion.
Yeah,
So
that's what I say
that's
too.
powerful stuff to
Yeah.
recognize that you can build a whole life based on kindness. And I think that people become bullies because they were never they weren't treated kindly,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So that they learned how to be a bully by being bullied.
Right,
And it turns out that most people who are abused their children were abused as children.
right,
Repeat the patterns of our parents unless we break those patterns. And that's why the inner development is so important because we don't want to do the same thing our parents did to us
right.
uh, because to our own children. So
Hmm.
we have the opportunity to heal ourselves and break the chains that have been going on for many generations.
Right, right. We start breaking the cycle. So tell me a little bit about the type of clients you like working with.
Um, well, first of all, I have a teaching practice and a coaching
Okay.
practice. So the teaching practice is the thing I love the most because I love
Hmm.
passing on all this knowledge that I've gained over 70 years.
You don't have to say how long. It's okay.
And I've always been a practical person. So everything I've learned, I've tried to put into a package that I could teach to other people.
Hmm.
And so my training consists of 20 different techniques that are all based on this idea that our beliefs and the patterns that we took on as children,
Hmm.
that we learned from our parents and grandparents and all the way back through and our ancestors,
Right,
uh, can be changed. That the first step is always awareness.
right.
What is the pattern? The second step is, do I have a tool to change the pattern? And
Hmm.
so my training offers 20 different tools that can be used to really get to the core of the pattern and clear it out of the way so that it doesn't exist anymore.
Hmm.
So a belief like I'm not worthy of love
Right.
could be developed in childhood, and then it just continues throughout your life, and you have miserable relationships because you believe you're not worthy of love, so you don't
Right.
find. And so by clearing that belief out of the psyche, and the person recognizes, wow, I am a being who does deserve love. Now suddenly your vision changes, your perceptions change about other people, your discernment gets better. Okay, that person's not going to treat me kindly, so I'm not going to be with them. And so you can develop better
Yeah.
relationships and better work and better everything. So for our work is all about getting to the core beliefs, the ones that are deep in the psyche, that
Hmm.
are causing the problems at the surface, and then clearing them out of the way so that they just don't exist anymore. They're just gone.
Hmm.
They don't come back. And
Yeah.
most belief change methods are temporary or partial. It's like, yeah, okay, well, now I have the affirmation. I have lots of money in the bank. I'm going to say that every day. But then you still look in your wallet and you see no money in the bank. So it creates internal conflict. So it's all about getting rid of the negative beliefs first. And then when you plant the new positive beliefs, they take. It's like putting seeds in well tended ground, right?
Right.
Then they can grow. If you throw seeds on rocky, weedy ground, you're not going to get much. And
Yeah.
most people who are trying to do affirmations or trying to do personal change, they're trying to add new beliefs on top of the old ones. But if you
Hmm.
clear it first, then it takes, and you get flowers and fruit of your affirmations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so that's my teaching methodology, and then my coaching is for anyone who's really sincerely interested in changing themselves at the core, and
hmm.
they've tried lots of different things usually, and they keep coming up with the same patterns again and again, and then uh, I help them clear it out permanently. I'll
Hmm.
give you an example if you'd like. Would you like to hear a couple
Sure.
examples? So a psychotherapist came to me who had a successful practice, successful family. Everything was pretty good in her life, except she had this feeling that something bad was going to happen. And so, in one session, we were able to get to the core of that belief,
Hmm.
clear it out of the way, and she felt much better. And then I
Hmm.
checked with her a couple months later and I said, how are you doing? And she said, it's amazing. After living with that feeling something bad was going to happen my whole life, it just hasn't come up at all
Right.
last 2 months. She said, well, wait a minute. I did have the thought something bad's going to happen about a week ago, but then I realized, oh, I don't believe that anymore. And it went. So that's the kind of deep work
Yeah.
we do when we're really going after like what is at the core of your experiences that you don't like or want,
Hmm.
and then clear them permanently.
Right. Right. Cool. So, anything you want to add to that conversation about who you like to work with or about your teaching? I think I sort of feel that you're really passionate about teaching, taking all that you learned and put it in helping other people teach others.
Well, I've got more than 800 graduates in 45 countries around the world, so I feel like
Hmm.
I've really, spread that technology out. I was
Yeah.
just I was just talking to a fellow from Germany this morning, and he said, the work that you gave us as students now is being spread out in my work and all the other students' work,
Right.
and it's really world changing. And
Hmm.
it was really because I was trying to solve that basic problem of what's wrong with me.
Right.
And I finally figured it out. And what's amazing is after all that work of sort of excavating the
Yeah.
things that I thought were wrong with me, I found out there's nothing wrong with me fundamentally. And that's, it's just I had patterns. We
Yeah.
have patterns, but we're not our patterns.
Right.
And so when you can recognize that and go, oh, I could change my patterns, now
Hmm.
we're on the path of awakening and becoming more virtuous people. From historical perspective, the virtues have always been how do we act in ways that create a better self, better relationships, a better community,
Hmm.
going all the way back to Aristotle and,
Right.
and his distinctions about the virtues. And so kindness is one of the main virtues, loving kindness,
Hmm.
where we treat others the way we want to be treated. And that makes for a better self, better relationships, better community. So
Hmm.
we're really, when you clear away all those ego patterns, what's left is your true self. And the
Hmm.
true self is virtuous. And so all the natural virtues come out: kindness, love, care, giving. Uh,
Right.
yeah, that's what we're after.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's a much better world, isn't it? A healthier and world for sure. For
Indeed.
sure. Okay. Any final thoughts before we end the call?
My final thought is always the same when I'm on a podcast, and that is that if you don't like something about yourself, find out what you believe about yourself and clear it out of the way.
Right.
You don't like something about someone else, find your beliefs about them and clear them out of the way.
Right.
You don't like something about the world, find out what you believe about it and clear those beliefs out of the way, and then create a better world. So
Hmm.
it always results in action. How do we take our virtues and put them into action? Because
Hmm.
that's how they manifest, is through
Right.
actually active use of them and practice with them.
Yeah. Yes, like you said, we're always growing.
Always growing, and we've got lots of growing to do. Always.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, thank you very much for taking on the challenge of being on the show today, Lion. And I wish you all the best. And I will, below the video, put your contact information up so people can reach out to you if they're interested in either coaching or being taught to so
Great.
that they can teach
Thank you for
teach
your work.
others.
Thank you for spreading kindness in the world. It's
Yeah.
very important.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for
There, of
helping us to be better humans.
course.
Okay. Thank you.